Let's talk about the AWS CLI return codes. If you've ever worked with HTTP, you've probably seen things like 404, 500 errors. These are codes that get returned by the HTTP protocol. And for terminal programs that you run in a shell, they also return their own codes that tell you how the program did. And so using the AWS CLI, we can actually observe what the return codes are for the program. So if we're using Bash, we can use a $sign question mark after we ran the command, or PowerShell, it'll be a little bit different. A lot of times the programs will return information, so they don't necessarily return an error code. You have to reference it this way, so that's why I'm specifying it. But let's just take a look at what these error codes mean specifically for AWS. And the error codes for programs can mean different things for different programs, right? So this is what AWS says, but these three are always usually the same. So if you get a 0 back, that's a 200. Remember, this is using HTTP as a protocol, so it's the equivalent of that 200 HTTP response, which is good. That's a good status code. This means that there was no error generated. This is what you want. If you get a 1, then it says one or more of Amazon S3 transfer operations have failed. So this is specifically for S3. If you get a 2, the command entry couldn't be parsed. Maybe it's missing an argument. If you get a 2 and you're using S3, one or more files were marked for transfer or were skipped during the transfer process. If you get a 130, this command was interrupted by a SIGINT or a control C. A control plus C is a very common way for us to quit out of a command that is running. I do it all the time in a program. If you ever see me quit, like stop a command that is running, I'm usually hitting that. Then we have 252. This command syntax is invalid, is for when something's invalid, unknown, or incorrect parameters. 253 is the system environment or configuration was invalid, so you have bad AWS credentials. 254 was a command that was successfully sending a request, but the error returned by the API was from the AWS service. 255 is the command failed, but could not be from the AWS CLI or the AWS service. It is useful to be able to access return codes when you have ambiguous errors or you're not sure what happened. You can check the return codes and maybe it helps you narrow it down. Okay, so there you go.